We appreciate you making time this evening. Obviously, this is an issue that you care about and you have thought about, and that's why you're making the time to be here tonight. And I want to thank our panelists for taking the time themselves to be here and to help us discuss this very important topic. That being said, I wish you a constructive and exciting discussion.
My name is Valerie Miller. I'm the Managing Director here for Cleveland for Genesis10. And I also manage a national practice for a college hire program. So I have a lot of interest in this topic as well. So what we're going to do tonight, we have a panel here. How many people here have been through one of these discussions before with IT Martini? Just raise your hand. A few of you? Okay. This is an open forum. It's very casual.
My name is Roland. And what are some creative ways that we can encourage students to pursue software engineering, software development, when they see all the offshoring that's going on?
We actually have a program in the engineering school which promotes software engineering. Our students actually work with the Professor Mark Buckner on gaming. So they have projects that develop many of the gaming systems that you see working on Wii and Xbox and all of that kind of stuff. We partner with the Institute for Art, so they do a lot of the animation, if you will. What I'd offer is we got to get kids to understand that these programs are available.
Employers can also be an advocate for understanding that those types of IT positions remain here in Northeast Ohio and aren't offshored. So I work at Hyland Software. I've also been a part of a regional IT engagement board that called the Right Board that focuses on making sure that IT students are connected with local IT positions and internships in this area.
Promote the industry better among high schools and middle schools. And I would also tell all of you in the audience, you can make a contribution to NEOSA to help us promote it, believe it or not. You can give me cash. We have a contest called the Cool Tech Challenge every year where we have area high schools participate in a website design contest. And in 4 years, we've given out about $32,000 in cash and prizes to try and encourage kids to have an interest in websites, at least, and designing websites for that piece of technology. So
the last thing I guess I would say is there's a lot more press given when companies are offshoring. There's very little press given with many companies in the area who are beginning to bring those jobs back on shore.
There is a trend that's going towards onshoring as those that were aggressive in offshoring have learned the limits of what's capable overseas. But you're also seeing a trend moving towards the Midwest, which is a great opportunity for us in particular because of the low cost of labor relative to the coasts here. Google opening its a development office in Pittsburgh is a huge indicator of where that trend can go.
Thank you very much. I think if I can just capsulate, I think we talked about 3 different types of answers to that question. Mark, you were saying we need to go kind of upstream and work with kids so that they develop an interest, an active interest in what we're doing in computer software. I think Brad and Sarah, you talked about the letting them know, really marketing what the opportunities are out there. Jobs are what help kids decide what they're going to do in college, right? Yes. And then Pat, you and Robert talked about the fact that we don't really need to be afraid of outsourcing as much as we need to embrace what we can do internally to build our own capabilities and create those jobs for kids.
Hi. So a lot of people talk about soft skills and what's needed. And soft skills, people skills, socialization, working as a team, and so forth, are just as important as hard technical skills. So this doesn't allow you to waffle in the middle. You have to either buy or sell. You're buying or selling that soft skills are really more important than hard skills.
Depending on how you define soft skills. So if you're defining soft skills as interpersonal skills, the best developers are the worst interviewers, I found. Social skills and problem-solving skills combined with technical skills are not necessarily the same thing. I'd say the soft skill we look for in addition to technical capability is problem-solving capability. And I don't know that I'd call that a soft skill.
My name is Brandon Kelly. I'm the Chief Information Officer for American Municipal Power. My question's around, so we have this economic impact that's eliminating jobs, which is creating less opportunity. And that's all in the news, and we see that all the time, so we can kind of understand that. But there's another thing that's happened with this economy, and that's the fact that people are staying in their job longer. So even on my staff alone, I have people on my staff that are close to 70 years old who, if we wouldn't be in this time, they would have left and retired and created another opportunity for folks, younger folks. At the same time, as we hire, and we're aggressively hiring people, the talent pool that's coming at me, because there's so many people out of work and there's so many people coming back into work that have the talent that I know is mature, that has the ability to deliver, that I don't have to handhold and spend time to get them through that process, pushes me to hire them versus maybe more of a younger staff. So it's not necessarily a question, but more of kind of your thoughts or your comments around what impact does that have for young folks? Because, it's kind of a thing. It's like if you don't get something 3 years out of school, you're doing something else. You've lost your opportunity to get into this field.
One of the things that works really well is to reach into your organization. There's a happy medium between bringing someone right out of school who doesn't know your business and doesn't know anything about it, and yet there are opportunities and talented people right within your organization who probably have the capability, who undoubtedly have the capability to learn how to become a programmer, to be retooled, and those people can be groomed at a low cost. They're extraordinarily loyal.
I think, especially in higher education, I think that you have to make a concerted effort to bring in our students. We're going to do that in August. And one of the reasons is we serve our customer, are our students. And so we need to become, I think, a little more attuned to the needs of the students, and also the creativity and the way that students think going forward are the kinds of views and innovation that I think we have to tap into and to foster. The other piece is that they're not jaded, quite frankly, and we have the opportunity to groom those students to become our leaders for tomorrow. But I think it's really key to bring in kind of that fresh perspective.
I think a lot of it is organizations taking a look at their existing employee base and finding that blend. Because if you look at the different generations that are in the workforce today, we have, a large portion of the boomers are looking to retire in the next several years, which is a great part of their career path. But then we also have millennials that are going to be entering in that are even a larger pool of candidates. But then how do you take that and blend it with the individuals that are currently in the organization? So a lot of that is educating your management team to learn how to blend those two different types of individuals and have them be successful and really play off of one another's strengths.
The recession really affected jobs in a couple different ways. Not only were larger companies laying off people, but then those that were left behind, were scared and were not leaving. So nobody was leaving a job they had to take a new job. So that didn't create an opening at their current employer. So there was no jobs for somebody else to come into. But anecdotally, we're hearing companies that are losing some of their IT staff and non-tech firms. And then we do a lot of surveying of tech companies, and most recently we saw that close to 70% of the respondents were planning to add staff in the next 12 months, which is a high watermark really for the last 5 years.
My name is Samuel Corver. I'm an IT recruiter here with Tech Systems. I had two questions. One was I often speak with people who left Cleveland within the last 4 to 5 years because of lack of jobs. They had to take their families, and they want to come back. So, like you said, the IT world is booming right now. People are looking to hire. But what's your forecast for 5 years from now? These people are saying, I would love to come back. Maybe, there are contracts and things going on, but am I going to be here for the long haul again, or am I going to bring my family back to the Cleveland area and have to move? And then my second question would be, with me being new to IT recruiting, what are your views as far as, vendors and just working with recruiters and, the pros and cons?
Did a quick search of Ohio Means Jobs before I came over here and found about 1,000 jobs within 50 miles of Cleveland that had information technology in the job description. And then I found about 700, I think was the number, that had software development, computer programming, software programming in the job description. So a lot of openings. We hear frequently that the perception of somebody coming to Cleveland is that if this job craps out, I'm stuck. That's just not true, and that's what we have to kind of overcome. There is a lot of opportunity here.
When I took the job at JumpStart almost 2 years ago, at any given time we'd have 15 or 20 open positions in our portfolio of companies. Now we've got consistently between 70 and 90. So not all of those are software IT related, but the point is we've got things building here. Some momentum is building, not just within the larger employer community, but within the entrepreneurial community. So it's not just that one position if things don't work out. There's multiple opportunities. And in your question, you're talking about people who were here once before and left. They know the benefits of being in the region. And if you can connect them with that opportunity or set of opportunities, the rest is gravy. It's an easy sell beyond that point. I know people tend to disparage life in Northeast Ohio and Cleveland and the weather. The weather sucks in Chicago, New York, and Boston.
My name is Andy Hartman, and I'm with KeyBank as well. The question, we've talked a lot about developers and entry-level positions and sort of growing your way up through the ranks. I'd like to shift gears and maybe talk a little bit about that senior IT leadership that you touched on a little bit. It's a very different skill set and one that's relatively difficult to find here in Cleveland. So I was wondering if you guys could talk about your organizations, or in your case, your clients, what kind of things they're doing to seek out that type of talent and make Cleveland a destination for those types of people.
I guess the short answer to your question is really hard to find those people as well. In fact, harder. And to get them to come to Cleveland, what I do is I try to find people that care about Cleveland, that are, by the nature of them being entrepreneurial, they've likely left the region to find interesting opportunities elsewhere, or even just to experience new things. It's kind of an ugly side effect of being entrepreneurial, is you like to try new stuff, even if it takes you away from comfort zones. And I try to find folks, and it's by no means easy, who have links to Cleveland, who have aging parents, who have spouses from here, who went to college here, who grew up here, who understand, as your question asked, the benefits of living in the region. And that's sort of my ace in the hole. Now, those people are really hard to find, but that's sort of the tactic that I use to find them and get them to come to Cleveland.
What I would offer is that developing relationships with people in different companies or in different environments. I think relationships can be called upon to bring people to opportunities in Cleveland.
We identified earlier that leadership is a trait, right? So I think there's also the opportunity to grow that. When you talk about finding that talent at that entry level, it is something that you can find on college campuses. It's something that you can find at community colleges. It's something you can find at McDonald's. You can find that talent and you can mature it into a leader who works in the field of technology.
Hi, my name is Alan Gilbert, and I'm sure there's lots of books and seminars and conferences all about interviewing and hiring, but I'm wondering if you could share some thoughts on evaluating technical talent during the recruiting process and during the interviewing process to avoid failure, to avoid somebody not working out on a job, really from both sides, both from maybe the academic side and how you find the right job for as a technical person looking for a job, and then also from the hiring side to make sure you get the right person. How do you evaluate technical skills in a relatively short and condensed interview process?
What we did is a couple things. We tested. I'm going to be really honest. We tested. There were two different kinds of testings we did. Coming out of college, we administered what was called the Berger Aptitude Test, either the BAP Form A or the BAP Form F. The Form A tells us, do they have aptitude for programming in more legacy languages, and then the AF is more geared towards the Java, the Visual C, and that.
We also have our internal training department. They teach our first 6 weeks of training. That's how everyone gets onboarded in our on-base software and learns how to configure it and how it works. They have a portion of the interview where they're kind of diving into some technical skills to have a different piece, because everyone sits down and you take a test and that's just one piece of the equation. So now individuals are getting there and to really explain what they know.
I couldn't talk to the technical aptitude testing, but focus on cultural fit as well, and we've talked about that a little bit here tonight. Again, coming from the perspective of smaller companies, not necessarily startups, but smaller companies, where you really can't afford somebody that craps out after 6 months. You just can't do it. So get the team involved that they'll be working on in the interview process, not necessarily to check technical skills, but quiz the person on their likes and dislikes, how they like to work. And then does that fit with the culture of your organization? Is it a 10 in the morning to 10 at night place, or is it a 6 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon place? You know, because that cultural fit is really, really important.
So I'd like to thank again the members of our panel for your time here tonight and your feedback.